This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us for this first edition of CBN NewsWatch for Tuesday, September 17th. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, Israelis go to the polls for the second time this year to decide if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will remain in office. President Donald Trump deciding how to respond as the U.S. says Iran was behind the devastating attack on that oil facility in Saudi Arabia. A Christian family has to flee their country and seek asylum in America. But what drove them out of their own nation? We'll take a look. And a look at how you can shop smarter and cheaper and healthier, too. All those stories and more in this edition of CBN Newswatch. We begin with Israelis voting today in an unprecedented back-to-back national election Tuesday. It is the second time in 6 months that voters in Israel have gone to the polls. The election will decide if longtime Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stays in office. He's already the longest-serving leader in Israeli history, and he's seeking a fourth consecutive term and a fifth overall. But he faces a stiff challenge from retired military chief Benny Gantz, whose blue and white party is running even with Netanyahu's Likud in the polls. Here's CBN News' Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell from Jerusalem with a look at today's voting.
We're here at one of the voting stations in Jerusalem, and this is being replicated all over the country. It's a national holiday and people have the day off. It's also an historic day because for the first time in Israel's history, Israelis are going to the polls 2 times in 1 year. The reason for that is after the April elections, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was unable to form a coalition government. A lot of people are asking the question, well, what's going to happen now? We talked to one of Israel's main politicians, Ayelet Shaked, last night, and she said really nobody knows. Well, here's what some of the Israeli voters we had to talk to today had to say.
I think actually that there's not going to be a change because logical people would go to vote to the same parties that they voted 4 months ago. Therefore, it's going to be probably the same.
I think I'm focused more on social values rather than on security issues, because security issues seem to be pretty constant all the time, but the domestic issues are the things that really affect our lives day to day that no one really talks about.
There's a lot at stake both internally and externally in today's election. One major question Israeli voters will be determining today is whether or not Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is the one to take Israel through these dangerous geopolitical waters, especially after the recent attack against Saudi Arabia's largest oil processing facility and the danger and possibility of a major war with Iran. And also another major factor is that President Trump says after today's election, he'll be releasing his long-awaited peace plan. Well, CBN News will be covering all these developments, so stay tuned. I'm Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
America blames Iran for the devastating attack on the key Saudi Arabia oil facility. So, how will the Trump administration respond? Gary Lane reports the president is taking a wait-and-see approach until all the evidence is in.
After tweeting that the United States was locked and loaded and ready to respond to the Iranian attack, the president backed off a bit on Monday, suggesting that a U.S. military response may not happen. He said the attack was against Saudi Arabia, not the United States.
But we would certainly help them. They've been a great ally. I don't want war with anybody. I'm somebody that would like not to have war.
President Trump is taking a wait-and-see approach, wanting to see evidence proving Iran launched the massive attack on the Saudi oil refinery. Iran says its proxy, the Houthi rebels in neighboring Yemen, were responsible. But a U.S. official says 12 cruise missiles and 20 drones were used in the missile strike. Both the U.S. and Saudi Arabia insist the Houthis are incapable of making such an attack. At least 1 drone and 1 missile were left intact. An investigation is underway, but the Saudis say the armaments were Iranian-made, and they say the airstrike likely came from Iran or Iraq, not neighboring Yemen. Saturday's attack means 5% of the world's oil supply is now shut down, and gas prices may jump as high as 25 cents a gallon here in the United States. At a Keep America Great rally in New Mexico Monday night, President Trump tried to calm concerns about rising prices.
But a few years ago, they would have been in a panic. Today, we got a lot of oil, we got a lot of gas.
And it's his policies, says the president, that have caused the United States to become the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas. And Trump says that has created a lot of jobs, not only in New Mexico, but throughout the United States. Gary Lane, CBN News.
And President Trump covered a wide range of other subjects at his rally in New Mexico last night, from immigration to gun control to New York Times revising its story about supposed new allegations of sexual misconduct against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh when he was in college 35 years ago.
Did you see the New York Times? Did you see what they're doing? Did you see what Democrats? They're calling for his resignation. They're calling for his impeachment. And the woman involved said she didn't know anything. She doesn't, but they still. So the New York Times had to put out a major apology, and they had to change their story. The woman said, I don't remember that. Okay, and they still want him to be impeached. And I just put out a statement, and he's a great man, by the way, great talent, a great, brilliant man, Brett Kavanaugh. And I just put out a statement on social media that said, I don't think they'll do it, but they should, for the good of the nation. I call for the resignation of everybody at the New York Times involved in the Kavanaugh smear story. And while you're at it, the Russian witch hunt hoax, which is just as phony a story. And left-wing Democrats want to confiscate your guns and eliminate your God-given right to self-defense. You know that. As your president, I will never allow them to take away your liberty, your dignity, your Social Security. And I will never, ever allow them to take away your sacred right to keep and bear arms. Because the Hispanic Americans, they understand they don't want criminals coming across the border. They don't want people taking their jobs. They want to have that security, and they want the wall. They want the wall.
The president is trying to win New Mexico in next year's election. Although he lost it in 2016, he says it can be made into a Republican state. The California Senate passed a resolution telling Christian clergy to accept and support LGBTQ ideology, even if doing so violates their Christian beliefs. Democrat State Assemblyman Evan Lowe introduced Assembly Concurrent Resolution 99, or ACR 99, as a way to gather support for LGBTQ identity and behaviors. Russell Willingham, Executive Director of New Creation Ministries, told CBN News he believes ACR 99 will criminalize pastor caregivers like me who provide such a resource. The resolution also condemns counseling for conversion therapy, calling it ineffective, unethical, and harmful. Roger Ganna with Liberty Counsel says there are many cases that prove otherwise. Quote, we have actual patients and clients who have benefited from therapy to help them with their unwanted attractions. We've helped them to change their lives. Christians who have been delivered from LGBTQ lifestyles marched in Orlando, Florida recently. The Christian Post reports the march was led by a group called Overcomers and hosted by Angel Colon and Luis Javier Ruiz. They are survivors of the Pulse nightclub mass shooting in 2016. They have since left homosexuality and started a ministry called Fearless Identity to bring hope and understanding to the LGBTQ community and the church. Former transgender Jeffrey McCall told CBN News he started the march in 2018 to tell the story of those freed from the LGBTQ lifestyle through Christ and his unfailing love. The Duke University Student Government Senate voted not to recognize Young Life as an official group on campus. The reason? Young Life's stance on sexuality. The school paper reported the student senators called it discriminatory. Young Life disagrees, and part of its statement of faith explains, we do not in any way wish to exclude persons who engage in sexual misconduct or who practice a homosexual lifestyle from being recipients of the ministry of God's grace and mercy as expressed in Jesus Christ. We do, however, believe that such persons are not to serve as staff or volunteers in the mission and work of young life. Coming up, a Christian family had to flee from their homes and even escape from their own country, but they didn't live in a country widely known for religious persecution. We're going to tell you where they left and why they came here to seek asylum in America when we come back.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com. Want to be a part of a community that inspires your spiritual growth while winning prizes? The all-new MyCBN app. Connect with the community for prayer and encouragement. Track and set spiritual goals. Enjoy conversation starters with friends and family. And collect points to win prizes. The all-new MyCBN app. A great place to belong. Download the app at cbn.com/mobile. Grow, connect, have fun. The all-new MyCBN app.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs, from health to entertainment, you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place, from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Check your local listings or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Come home to the sounds of Southern Gospel from CBN Radio. You'll enjoy a rich Southern blend of bluegrass, classic gospel, and Southern gospel favorites like the Gaithers, the Crab Family, and bluegrass sounds like Mountain Faith. So make yourself at home with the all-new CBN Southern Gospel, now available at cbnradio.com.
They're a family who fled their home, taking only what they could fit in their suitcases. They weren't escaping from a war zone. They were fleeing Denmark and seeking asylum in the United States. The question is, why? Dale Hurt has the answer.
Torben Søndergaard is the founder of the Last Reformation, a worldwide movement which seeks to return Christianity to the Book of Acts. He also began the Jesus Center in Denmark, which trained disciples from 30 nations to spread this message around the world. But Torben and his family fled Denmark this year like refugees fleeing a war zone, leaving with only what they could carry in 8 suitcases. The attacks against the ministry began in 2016, when the Jesus Center was investigated by 6 different Danish government agencies for everything from food safety to unpaid taxes. Officials found nothing wrong. Then last year, the government began to investigate the Søndergaard family when they began homeschooling. When they put their daughter back into public school, the investigations didn't stop. But the worst was yet to come. Torben Søndergaard's life and ministry would take a dramatic turn when Danish TV approached him and said it wanted to do a profile of his ministry. It sounded like it could be very positive. It wasn't. Danish TV sent not only a film crew, it also sent 2 undercover reporters into Torben's ministry. One who said he wanted to follow Jesus and was even baptized, and another who pretended to be mentally ill. The result was a news documentary called God's Best Children. It lumped Torben in with other so-called radical Christian ministries that had had serious moral or ethical failures, or even criminal activity.
When I saw that, I was like, I'm finished now. No one will ever trust me again.
Torben watched in horror as he saw himself depicted on national TV as a liar, as an abuser of children and the mentally unstable, through healings and so-called exorcisms, and as a quack who takes medicine away from the sick, something he says he's never done.
I've been doing ministry for 18 years. I never had problem. I never had complaints. Not like, of course, there've been misunderstanding. People have maybe got hurt and so on, like every other church and every other ministry. But when these programs started, it just changed the whole atmosphere in Denmark. We were like, we need to leave Denmark. This is not going to stop.
It didn't. Torben became a punching bag on Danish TV as guests on news shows pushed for a new law against Christians who allegedly inflicted mental violence on children through healings and deliverance.
And then the interviewer state church priest talking about that we were the evil people coming as a predator to find the weak animals who were sick and eat them, and how we wanted to take people into the cult.
Then the demands grew in the media for Torben to be investigated for the crime of quackery.
And I just saw there that I was already guilty in the mind of the politician. I was already guilty in the mind of the people for something I have nothing to do with.
Torben was now a marked man, viewed as a dangerous person by many of his countrymen, worried that he would lose his children.
And we have people starting to call us, say that you have to leave Denmark now, because they're not going to stop. They want to continue getting you down. So we bought a ticket to America, and 2 days later we had packed 8 suitcases, and we left with our kids to America. And yeah, and it was very stressful. And now our center is closed. We had a 80,000 square feet center in Denmark is closed down. Our work is closed down. Everything is closed down.
The Sondergaards have appealed to the U.S. government for political asylum. Torben has testified in a sworn affidavit that if he is returned to Denmark, he risked being imprisoned and having his minor daughter removed from their family. The Danish press agency has ruled that Torben was misled by the journalist who made the documentary. But there's no government agency in Denmark that can give Torben his reputation back or guarantee his freedom if he returns. Torben now waits to see if his asylum request will be approved, and he said he dreams of starting a Jesus Center like he had in Denmark here in America.
And I believe through all of this, I also have a message to people in America that we need to be prepared. We need to be alert. To say that they will never have it in America, that is a lie. I have said the same in Denmark. This is going to come to America.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Still ahead, we're going to switch gears and show you how you can eat healthy and save money all at the very same time. We've got that story for you when we come back. Stay with us.
When I came to Regent University, it's like the world opened up. I felt like I needed to advance my career and go back to school. Regent was a perfect fit for me. The Regent professors are world class. You are equipped. The focus of the faculty is on each individual student, whether it's online or in person. You become a part of Regent's family. You carry with you not just the content and the knowledge, but the confidence to understand that we can be significant in the world.
Regent University. Follow your path.
When the new year rolls around, two of the most popular resolutions people make are save money and eat healthier. Most people think they have to pick one or the other because eating healthy is also expensive. But as Lori Johnson now shows us, you can actually switch to a healthier diet without breaking the bank.
Just because some unhealthy foods like processed macaroni and cheese are cheap and some healthy foods like wild-caught salmon are expensive, don't think for a minute you have to spend a lot to eat healthy.
Tiffany Terzak is living proof. She feeds her Atlanta family of 4 super healthy food for, get this, only $330 a month.
We eat real food, so food that comes from the ground, animals that eat plants from the ground. We hardly eat anything processed, and by processed, I'm referring to boxes, just add water type of things. We don't eat that.
Tiffany's online grocery budget boot camp is so popular, there's a waiting list. Probably because she saves her students an average of $2,400 a year.
I believe God has given me the gift of teaching people how to eat real food on a budget. Everything involved in that arena comes easy to me, and I know it's hard for other people.
Tiffany took me to her local grocery and shared her top tips, like stocking up on sale items.
What really caught my eye is this, and these are drumsticks for $1.79 per pound, marked down from $2.49, and these are free-range organic as well. And there are several packages up here. There's at least, 4, 5, 6 packages of them. So when someone is concerned about eating healthier food, trying to buy organics, but they always say that organic costs so much, if you just keep your eyes open, you can find really great deals on organic food at the grocery store.
So you would buy all of those packages and put them in the freezer?
I would, because the sales cycle for grocery stores is 6 to 8 weeks. And now I don't have to buy it at full price in, say, 2 weeks from now. We're good to go for several weeks.
When you hit the produce department, comparison shop. You'll be surprised some organics, like carrots, are usually pretty cheap.
So it's a 30-cent difference between conventional and organic, which is really great if you're trying to buy better quality food, but trying to keep it within the budget.
Don't pay more for chopped or washed produce. Save big money by doing it yourself. Seasonal produce is usually less expensive and abundant. And check out the bargain bin.
Some of the stores will include organic produce in this marked down section, and it doesn't change the price. It's still 99 cents for that bag, which can really save you a lot of money.
Frozen produce can be just as healthy as fresh and often a lot cheaper. And buying the right stuff in bulk also saves. For example, these big containers of probiotic-rich yogurt are a lot less per ounce than single-serving containers. Hunt for low-priced canned foods like these fiber-filled organic beans, 10 for $10.
What you may not realize is that you don't have to buy 10 to get the deal of $1 per can.
Wild canned fish is way cheaper than fresh or frozen, and it's just as healthy. Here's a good tip: only buy food at the grocery store.
Aluminum foil will cost you more at the grocery store than it would if you were to buy it at a different store that wasn't a food-focused store.
Like Walmart?
Like Walmart, Costco, Target.
Watch out for the specialty cheese section. The blue cheese here is twice the price of what's in the dairy section. Steer clear of bottled and canned drinks like juices and sodas. Stick with good old tap water instead. Also, avoid packaged snack foods like cereal bars. It's much healthier and cheaper to make them from scratch from organic whole oats.
If you are intentional with what you cook from scratch, and you cook the things that will have the biggest impact on your budget, then you can actually make cooking from scratch work in your favor.
Bone broth and kimchi are two of the best things for your gut.
You can buy them at the store, but they're also really cheap and easy to make at home. First, buy meat containing bones. It's cheaper than boneless. After eating the meat, instead of throwing the bones away, save and toss them in a crock pot with water and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Let sit for an hour, then add onion, carrot, and celery. Cook on low for 24 hours or longer. Remove the large pieces of bone and vegetables, then strain and enjoy.
Lori Johnson, CBN News.
And you can see more outstanding stories about your health, including a look at how you can live longer and stay healthy, and a topic that's hot in the news right now, e-cigarettes. We've got those stories and more this evening on Healthy Living. It begins at 9:30 Eastern on the CBN News Channel. Coming up, we'll be back with an encouraging word for your day today. Stay with us.
It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh, no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Young people, millennials, are flocking to church.
It's not an exaggeration to say that we love to meet them and that we love to know their stories.
Come home to the Southern Gospel Station from CBN Radio. You'll enjoy a rich Southern blend of bluegrass, classic gospel, and Southern gospel favorites. CBN Southern Gospel. Available now at cbnradio.com.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh, no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Millsburg Falls man, come.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
And welcome back. Time now for your Tuesday Tweetable. Here's a message I hope will inspire you and move you to post, tag, tweet, and share with others. Remember this: God is perfect, and in His perfection there is no failure. His love for us is also perfect, unfailing, unending, and unchanging. And guess what? That is true despite our imperfections, our failings, and all of our shortcomings. With that word, I encourage you to make today a terrific Tuesday and make this week a wonderful rest of the week as well. Well, that is going to do it for this first edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our CBN News programs anytime on the CBN News Channel or online at cbnnews.com. We'd also love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can email us. The address is newswatch@cbn.com. And of course, you can reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Again, make it a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you back here same time tomorrow, everybody.